News at Prime. Let's get into this conversation now. The MK Party is threatening legal action against forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan and his former assistant Sarah Jane Trent. This is for what it claims is the influence and the politicization of the country's criminal justice system. This follows Trent's admission during her testimony at the Aide committee that O'Sullivan's Forensics for Justice was responsible for opening a number of high-profile cases, including one against Duduzile Sambudla. Let's speak now to MK Party Member of Parliament, David Skhosana. Mr. Skhosana, good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time. I'd like to start with a portion of what your statement says, and I want to ask for clarity thereafter. Your statement says, forensic investigator or self-styled forensic investigator Sarah Jane Trent, whose testimony has exposed troubling questions about the role of private actors who have embedded themselves in South Africa's criminal justice processes. And you go on to say, this past week, former Member of Parliament, Vincent Smith, was sentenced to 7 years direct imprisonment in a case that originated from charges laid by Ms. Trent. Talk to us about the essence of your statement. What is it that you are trying to communicate here?
Good evening to the viewers. I must say that the MK Party is very clear when it comes to what should have happened. Remember that the issue of Busasa was a very serious issue, and we welcome as well. But the problem is that the law has its own eyes. Remember, it was not only Vincent Smith. You had the minister now, Gwede Mantashe, you had your David Mahlobo, you had your Malusi Kigaba, you had so many people, you know, Nomvula as well being involved in those issues of Busasa. But because of the system and the people who are in charge, hence we've raised the issue of the judiciary. If you remember, we raised those issues many times. And General Mkwanazi on the 6th, when he announced, he said there's some interference. Why we have this ad hoc committee and we have the so-called Madanga Commission as well probing exactly what happened in the past, because we have a failing state as we speak, Tony. So we are saying in terms of the Vincent Smith issue, is that it should not only be him. There's many others who are still enjoying cabinet posts as we speak. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Skhosana, you will be aware as a lawmaker of the PRECA Act. And this is what PRECA stands for those who may not know. It's the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act. It's a law of South Africa. So anyone who knows of corrupt acts or corrupt practices can simply go to a police station and open a charge, and the person concerned may find themselves behind bars. What's wrong with what Sarah Jane Trent or indeed Paul O'Sullivan have been doing, and that is to take the law at face value and say, these are the people, if indeed South Africa is serious about the law, well, here's a person whom we believe is engaged in corrupt activities, and they are dealt with by the long arm of the law. What's wrong with that?
What is wrong, Goli? You know, if you were listening to what is happening at the ad hoc committee, it's very unfortunate that Paul O'Sullivan doesn't have a compaction. And the Sarah Jane Trent is being used, if one has to listen. She's under a lot of pressure, and she's a mastermind in terms of how she does the reporting. But indeed, we feel that the IPID, it affects before us that IPID has been infiltrated by the so-called Forensic for Justice. I call it fraud for justice. Now, you look at the trend which has been happening in the South African Police Service. I mean, he's been bragging, Paul O'Sullivan, about the issue of him bringing down 2 former police commissioners. Now, Sarah Trent as MK Party, obviously we'll be opening a case, Tony, because of what she has said to us at the Aide committee. Because really, if we say we want to combat corruption, the simple question, one of the members, Honorable Chongwe, asked Sarah Trent to say, we had Andile Ramaphosa being involved with the 500,000 from Pusasa. Now, they only investigated Duduzile. They've opened a case against her, and that was Sarah Jane. And we asked her, why have you opened against Duduzile? She was very clear. She said she was called by Paul O'Sullivan. Paul O'Sullivan was abroad at that time. Now, she is a messenger, but indeed she opened a case against Duduzile. But I'm saying a lot of black professionals' career were ended by this so-called forensic editor, forensic expert, inverted commas, because he's not even qualified for O'Sullivan. And herself, Sarah Jane Trent, they are not qualified both, though he's got an LLB, but they are not even registered with a regulation body in this country. So they were doing as they please.
Well, Mr. Skhosana, the more I listen to you, the more I seem to understand your reasoning to be that Paul O'Sullivan and those he acted with, i.e. Sarah Jane Trent, are cherry-picking who should be prosecuted and who they choose to leave behind. That's what you have a problem with. But then again, if they take what they say is evidence before law enforcement and say, look at this, if you think it is worthy of investigation or of investigating, then please do your job and let's see these people prosecuted. Well, that's because they are acting on what they claim to be evidence that they are presenting before law enforcement. So what stops you from taking anything that you say is suspicious on their part as forensic investigators for justice? Take them before law enforcement and have it investigated. What stops you from doing that?
Let me say this to you, Toli. It's even worse what we have discovered at the Aide Commission. And Paul O'Sullivan himself and Sarah Jane confirmed that they were opening dockets. And the people who can only open dockets are policemen and women. But they were opening dockets and giving to the police. They themselves, law unto themselves, in a sense that they confessed that they were giving, like Mahlangu, may his soul rest in peace. They prepared dockets and give it to the police. Then the police will chase you. Now, we said that they even have letterheads of IP. And I'm saying to you, there's nothing wrong of opening a case against anyone. A lot of cases have been opened, Koli, but the law enforcement, as we are saying, we have to reset this country when it comes to the police service. Most of the men and women, not all of them, were in the pockets of this so-called Forensic for Justice and Paul O'Sullivan company for many years. It's evident to us that, if you remember the case of Lucky Mundane, for instance, with Paul O'Sullivan, if he knows something about you, you must be able to surrender yourself, or else if you don't pay him, then the law is going to chase after you. Now, it can't be, that cannot be allowed in this country. We have a serious problem as we speak with you now. Paul O'Sullivan has an order of the High Court, which says that before you arrest him, you must give him 48 hours. He's the only citizen in this country. And for that matter, a settler, a foreigner who is holding 3 passports. Now, you can't do anything with him now as we speak. And we are going to challenge that in the court of law. Our legal team is working on that because we cannot allow that, Tony, in this country that, he is above the law. And as I'm saying to you, Sarah Jane Trent, she's been used on all these matters. Unfortunately, it's far bigger than that. Hence, we said that in the committee, Paul O'Sullivan has a military number from UK. Hence, we said that we are probing and the findings will be given to Parliament. And I can tell you, Xoli, this is not just a tick box exercise.
Okay.
You'll be surprised
Okay.
of what's going to happen, because we have discovered a lot about what exactly this so-called forensic for justice stands for. They pick and chase those they hate most. They are reporting elsewhere, Xoli.
Okay. Mr. Skhosana, the good thing here is that you are a lawmaker, and so you will know a little bit more than an ordinary South African about when it is that the law has been broken and what needs to be done to fix things. Let me turn the attention towards the MK party for a moment. And I'm doing this because you are raising issues of concern, and you're saying that you are going to open criminal cases. Your party in Parliament is the main opposition, and surely you should have a problem with this. A former member of Parliament from your party, Duduzile Sambudla-Zuma, the one that you've just spoken about, South Africa is told that she has been told to leave Parliament. It's basically, she's being recalled by the MK party. This on the back of people that were recruited under suspicious circumstances to go and fight for Russia in its conflict with Ukraine. Do you have a problem, Mr. Skhosana, with what has happened here? And do you encourage law enforcement to get involved and tell us who did wrong for these people to have been sent to a war that they were not aware of that they were being sent to, including the MK party, by the way?
Let me say this, Xoli, to you, that unfortunately I'm not on the party structures. And as well, this matter is sub judice. I don't want to be accused, of saying things which are not factual here by you or viewers of this country. The matter is receiving attention, and there's a lot of gossiping, around that matter. For now, let's respect, the people who are investigating the matter. But as far as the MK party is concerned, we are saying we cannot, as well, Xoli, at this point in time, spread lies, on national television. For now, let's respect the law enforcement agencies to investigate the matter. We can't point fingers now, like some people are doing, because there's a lot of misinformation which is being spread, amongst social media and some media houses about this matter. Some of them, they don't even know what happened here. But I'm saying to you, for now, let's wait for the law enforcement agencies and for the people who have the capacity to investigate facts, not fiction.
Okay. So I don't want you to say tomorrow I misquoted you. So am I understanding you to be saying that as a concerned lawmaker, you support law enforcement investigating Duduzile Sambudla and the MK party, whether or not they were involved in the recruiting of these young men who were sent to Russia, some of them with lifelong scars now?
Let me say this, Xoli. I want to make it clear to you and the viewers. The matter is receiving attention, and the legal team will definitely deal with that matter, because we are saying to Duduzile, who's a former MP as well. It's a personal matter now. As I'm saying to you, the people who are busy with it, they will really come back and say, whatever happened, these are the facts on the table. But for now, there's a lot of political point scoring here. Let's not go there. Let's wait until those who are investigating the matter comes back and says, this is exactly what happened. I mean, we've got courts in this country, we've got laws in this country, but for now, it will be really immature for me, or it will be really too early to even speculate what's going to happen. But for us, let's give them the space to work on that matter. But this issue of, perpetuating the gossiping which is going all around. I don't think it's fair for anyone, you know, because I know I've heard so many stories about this matter. For me and you and the viewers, let's wait for the people who are investigating this matter.
David Skhosana, the MK Party's Member of Parliament, and he sits on that ad hoc committee that's investigating whether or not South Africa's criminal justice system, including the police, were infiltrated and matters of political interference. Thank you very much for your time.